Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to start a new lesson from the political science section. The name of the chapter is Why Do We Need a Parliament? Why do we need a parliament? So, you all of you knows that previous section we learned about the Indian Constitution and why do we need or why does a country need a constitution, and even the next chapter we learnt about the secularism also, and even especially the Indian secularism. So today's class, so we are going to learn about the need of the parliament, the need of the parliament. See, we in India pride ourselves on being a democracy. So because we are after independence, so the government of so the structure of the government, it is about the democratic system of the government. So that's what. So we in India feel pride and proud ourselves on being a democracy. See, here we will try and understand the relation between the ideas of participation in decision making and also the need for all democratic governments to have the consent of their citizens. So we are going to focus in this lesson about the two main concepts. So especially the ideas of participation in decision making. Understood. And so the another one, that is about need for all democratic governments to have the consent of their citizens. See, it is these elements that together make us a democracy, and this is best expressed in the institutions of the parliament. I think you all of you very familiar with this word, the parliament. So where we can see the different, the both the assemblies, even the in state government also, and even the in central government also. Understood. So the elected body or the elected representatives body used to called as an assembly, or in our country, so the name of the elected representative body used to called as the parliament, or even it's called also samsad. Getting now, see, in this chapter we will try to see how the parliament enables citizens of India to participate in decision making and control the government. So here it is about, so the parliament enables citizens of India to participate in decision making and as well as control the government. So thus making it the most important symbol of Indian democracy and a key feature of constitution also. It is one of the, so the need of a parliament or the parliamentary system of the government. So it is one of the key feature of the our Indian constitution also. Now let us discuss about why should people decide. Why should people decide? See, we all of you well knows that. So our country it's became independent on 15th August 1947. So preceding this was a long and a difficult struggle, so in which many sections of society participated. So during this independence struggle, during this participation, so the most of the, actually it was a long struggle, and as well as so it was too difficult also. And here, so the many sections of societies, so they were participated. So the people those who are belongs to different socio-religious communities, so many of the people those who are belong to the different community, different society, different religion, so they were all so actively participated in this process. See, people from various backgrounds joined the struggle and they were inspired by the ideas of freedom. So, throughout the countryside, so the people from the different parts of the country and those who are having a different background also, so they were all joined the struggle and they were inspired by the ideas of freedom and as well as the equality and participation in decision making also. So these are all very much important. So the people, inspired by the ideas of freedom, equality, and participation in decision making. See, under colonial rule, we all of you knows that the people had lived in fear of the British government and did not agree with many of the decisions that they took. The people, so during the time, so they were actually lived with the fear. They were not actually free in India. And even though, so whatever the decisions were taken by the government, so it was not accepted by the people, and even so they did not agree with the many of the decisions which were taken by the colonial administration. So, are you getting now? See here, so they faced a grave danger if they tried to criticize these decisions because they don't have freeness. They do not have freedom also. So that's what even so they were unable to criticize the policies which were taken by or passed by the British government or the colonial government. See, as far back as 1885, so we all of you knows that. So it was the year. So one of the remarkable year in the history of India because so the Indian National Congress so demanded that so there be elected members in the legislature with a right to discuss on budget and ask questions. It is what so one of the remarkable year in Indian history. So in 1885, so what happened? The Indian National Congress so demanded that what they were demanded no. So there be elected members. There be elected members in the legislature and even with a right to discuss on the budget and even to ask questions also. See, the Government of India Act 1909 so allowed for some elected representation. So after that, what happened? So the Indian National Congress, it was demanded. It was started during 1885 only, but after long time, so the Government of India Act, the Government of India Act 1909 allowed for some elected representation, while these early legislatures under the British government were in response to the growing demands of the nationalists of our country. They did not allow for all adults to vote, nor could people participate in decision making. So here, so whether all those Indians or those who are living in the subcontinent, whether they were all allowed to vote, no. So actually here, so only the few, all not adults were allowed to elect also, even to participate in decision making also during the colonial period. So we know that dear students already been learnt. So the experience of colonial rule as well as even the participation of different people in the freedom struggle left little doubt in the minds of the nationalists so that all persons in independent India would be able to participate in making decisions. So it's a really too difficult whether all participation participants so those who are participated in the struggle to get the freedom or in this freedom struggle or in this freedom war whether they are all able to participate in decision making. See, with the coming of independence, so we were going to be citizens of a free country. Understood now? So we are going for a citizens of the free country. So after that, see, this did not mean that the government could do what it felt like. That means, so according to government wishes, or if whichever it may be the different government, so the government is not allowed to take decisions according to the wishes or those who are rulers or those who are elected representatives. See here, the dreams and aspirations of this freedom struggle were made concrete in the constitution of independent India that laid down the principles of universal adult franchise that we know that already we learned in the first chapter itself that is about universal adult franchise. Universal adult franchise. See, that is all adult citizens so of our country have the right to vote. So all adults, so above 18 or above 18 or all the men and women or the boy and girls, those who are crossed 18 or above 18, so they are all having so a right to vote even. That is continued. Are you getting now? See here, actually we adopted a democratic system of the government, so where the elected representatives or run the government, form the government, run the government and rule. So this is what we all of knows, that so the democracy means it is about so by the people, for of the people, for the people. This is what ಜನರಿಂದ ಜನರಿಗಾಗಿ ಜನರಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ. See how the people and their representatives, the people and their representatives. See, the takeoff point for a democracy is the idea of consent, that is about the desire, approval and participation of people. The desire, approval and participation of people. So it is the decision of people that creates a democratic government and decides about its functioning, how the government should function. Understood now? So here, so the decision of people that creates a democratic government and decides about its functioning. See, the basic idea in this king, I mean, sorry, whatever it may be, the basic idea in the kind of democracy is that the individual of the citizen is the most important person, and that in principle the government as well as other public institutions need to have the trust of these citizens. So it is all about the trust, because here so the by costing their valuable vote, so the people they are able to choose or they are going to elect their representatives, and the elected representatives are they are going to form a government. Understood? So in higher classes all you are going to learn a lot about this. So there will be the ruling party and opposition party and even the part of legislature, and then even so there is the executive body also, so and so things. Okay, so here so the main thing that so the most important person, and that here who are the most important person, the citizen. So citizen is the most important person, and that in principle the government as well as other public institutions so need to have the trust of these citizens. See, how does the individual give approval to the government? This is what we have to think. So how the government, the individual or a person so give approval to the government? See, one way of doing so, we all knows that so we are how we are going to elect our representatives, so we knows that very clearly, so that's through elections. So we are conducting systematic elections, so and the people would elect their representatives to the parliament. The people those who are 18 or above 18, so they are going to elect their representatives to the parliament, and then so one group from among these elected representatives, those who are getting the majority so according to the constitution, and they are going to form the government. Are you getting now? So the group of the parliament, so among all, for example in our country in a parliament there are 545 members are there. So among 545, because since we are following the multi political party system in our I mean in our government system. So in this multi political party system, so the which political party will get the majority, or even sometimes if there is no majority also, so the same interested political parties so came together or come together and then can form the government. So since many years we are observing even in a central government also, even in present I mean present central government also, and even in some of the state government also, the governments are forming two or more than two political parties, and these kind of governments used to called as a coalition government. So about this we are going to learn a lot, I mean more information in the next, I mean in the coming class. See here, so one group, so they are from these elected representatives, so they are going to form the government. See, the parliament which is made up of all representatives together, so where all the elected representatives are assembling. For example, now our parliament is located in New Delhi, so which is actually the capital city of our country. See, here all the elected representatives, so they are gathered together and controls and guides the government. See, in this sense, people through their chosen representatives form the government and also control, because there is a the ruling party and there is a opposition party also, and among that the group of the people they are forming the government. So the remaining representatives, so they are criticizing and even they are guiding and even they are controlling and even they are giving suggestions and even they are making shape the public opinion also, and they are all becomes the voice of the people also. So in this way, so the government and the parliament works. So the role of the parliament, so especially in a democratic system of the government, it is a so significance, it has so significance and is very much important. So even dear students, so we all of you knows that in our country, so in our, I mean in the democratic system, so we are adopted multi-political party system, and also government is existed at a different level of the government also. So in our country, there we can see already we studied in sixth and seventh standard, and in so and the government at a different level also, such as the central government and state government and then local self government. Then we all of you knows that, so how the people, I mean the eligible people, so how they are going to participate and they are going to elect their representatives, so all those things we knows that. See, for choose, I mean so to form the different units, especially local self government and even the state government and even for the central government. So we all of you knows that the procedure and then whatever the ways and then the way of conducting election also, and the value of the citizens or the voters also, so and so things, so we learned in the previous sessions only. Understood. So this is what the common the eligibility. So especially the 18 or above 18 years, those who are citizens of our country, so they can cast their valuable vote to select their representatives. And so the year in a parliament where all the elected representatives are gathering and they are discussing and even they are criticizing and guiding, and so all these activities are, and they are actually, so they are the voice of the people. And the next class, so we are going to discuss about the role of the parliament in a democratic system. So we all of you knows that, so after 1947, after 1947, so after getting independence, so we adopted the parliamentary system of the government in our country. So the Indian parliament is an expression of the faith that the people of India have in principles of democracy. So that's what, so the role of this parliament, it is very much important in the democratic system of the government. So the next class we are going to learn about the role of the parliament. Thank you. Have a nice day.